Hey, notice anything different? Well, as you can see, I have moved my work desk. Now, you saw that in many of my videos before, my desk was in the opposite corner of the room, which you could see my bed, my Sonic poster, or it's more of a banner, but I just decided that some changes needed to be made, and I decided to switch my desk with one of my shelves, and now I'm located right here. You can see the door behind me, and this is also where my TV is down here. But other than that, it's just pretty much still the same old thing here. It's been a while since I've talked about anything furry, so why don't we start with this past weekend with Megaplex. I did say that they were not going to hold their convention in Orlando this year, but that doesn't mean they can't do it online. Anyone that had an attendance, a con badge ready for this year, they got to have access to the virtual con. Now, of course, they will still have their memberships for next year. Now, I didn't get to do much with this virtual con because I'm not into the virtual conventions. I'd rather be in person. But the reason why I actually did anything here was for two things. One was a fursuit meet and greet, which I did bring Sapphire out, and I think someone posted a photo of that. Oh yeah, I posted one myself. And the other is that I got to DJ that event. So even though that there was no stage to perform on, as I am trying to get my wires untangled here. So even though there was no stage to perform on, so I just did my thing right here. Now my slot was for Friday at 11 o'clock. But if any of you were there, you may have noticed something, and that we had some technical problems trying to get that show going, and I had been hard at work trying to figure out what the problem was, and I had got the word that I had to abandon my set. But the good news is that I did get to make that up the next day. I'll get to that in a minute, but I was frantic trying to fix the problem, and of course I could not get it fixed in time. But after doing some investigation, I'm usually a technologically advanced guy. I know a lot about computers, but there's just one thing that had slipped my mind, and that is that Wi-Fi, while it has its advantages, is not very good at transporting high amounts of data at once. Yeah, I tried to do the set with the laptop on Wi-Fi, and I've always done that with no problem. I've never had a problem, but it kept having trouble streaming the video and audio to the server. And I just could not understand why. But I messed with the settings, and I turned the video bit rate down to 1000, which helped, but still needed some improvement, because at that point the video starts to get fuzzy. But and I like to thank one of the DJs that was in the chat room that helped me out with this and figured out what the problem was. So what I ended up doing, I don't know if I can bring it over, but no, the wire is not going to let it through here. But what I did was that I ended up buying my own modem / router, because the router that I used to have is located downstairs, and and our plan as far as internet has only one line. In other words, whatever internet data comes in or out goes through that one router downstairs. So what I did is that I bought my own. It's a Netgear, and I moved it. I moved that line to upstairs here in my room. And of course, everything in the house still able to use internet, but this one I think is more powerful. The other one is actually owned by our internet company, which you have to pay a fee for those to rent them out. But the advantage of getting your own, you don't have to pay a fee. So basically, what it is that I had to directly hook up my laptop over to the router in order to get that high amount of data through without any problems. So, but I do continue to use Wi-Fi for everything else. But now, if I'm going to do a show, it's going to be directly into the router to make sure that we don't have this problem again. But so yeah. But after we got that fixed, they did allow me to make up that set the following night. It was 9 o'clock. There wasn't supposed to be any dance going on at 9, but they were nice enough to let me try again, and that went off without a hitch. I'm glad to say. But so yeah, if you're going to do anything high definition, directly hook up to the router. And several of my friends knew about that, but somehow I didn't. And I'm the computer guy. Okay, and with that, we have upcoming events, which, well, there isn't any. There's a bunch of cons canceled. I looked through every single one of them, and there are 3 conventions that for now are still scheduled to occur. The first one is all the way on the top, Confertiva. It was scheduled to be on July 31st, but has been postponed to November 20th to 22nd. One thing I do need to point out, Biggest Little FurCon, I did say in the past that it was postponed to Halloween weekend. That is now not going to happen. That is now going to be postponed. So it's essentially a cancellation for this year. It will be moved. I know they gave the dates. I don't think they've put it up here, but if anyone got a room or a membership, don't worry. Those are being carried over to next year. I'm glad to say because I got an email from the Grand Sierra Resort. They assured me that I still have my reservation and that they moved it over for me. So that should be all fine. But for now, I am not accepting roommates at this time until a later date. I will let you know when I get that open because right now it's a little too early, and the situation as far as this pandemic is still fluid. It could change at any time. So for now, I'm going to keep it close for now. I will let you know. The other 2 cons that are scheduled as of this recording to carry on is Anthro Northwest on November 19th to the 22nd. But they said they will reset the refund dates to 60 days prior to the event if postponed. And the other one is Furry Summer Mexico, which was originally scheduled from July 25th to 26th, but is now scheduled for November 21st to 22nd. Now, of course, there are cons that are switching to virtual. I've already mentioned that before. For example, for Apocalypse, even though they're not going to have an in-person con, they will have a virtual event. I don't know if Biggest Little Fur Con is going to. This one I just noticed. I don't think HCon has given an update because it says that they're hoping for an ease of lockdown at the end of July. And of course the thing is in German. I can't read German. So if anyone has any information about that, do put it in the comments section because I can't read that. But New Year's Fur Bowl, that is going to be virtual only, even though that it's supposed to be, I believe, it's a bowling event. Fur ball. Wait a minute. I think someone must have misspelled it. I think it's supposed to be fur ball, not fur bowl. I mean, it's easily to confuse the two because there are bowling events, but I don't think that is going to happen. Let's see. As far as 2021, they've canceled Japan meeting of furries. Further confusion, they will not have a physical convention, but they do plan on having a virtual one. Same thing with Fur Square. They're going to go virtual only. And Blue Ridge Fur Fair, the last convention that I went to before this lockdown happened, that is going to go virtual as well. So no traveling to Asheville for me next year, unfortunately. And we'll try to keep you up to date as far as any changes in the schedule. But again, the situation is still fluid. Things can change at any time. I don't know if I've already mentioned this, but some rumors about Paw Patrol being canceled. No, that it's not happening. I think it has something to do with Chase, the police dog. Now, I don't watch the show myself because I don't watch preschool shows. If that's what the target audience is, I don't even know it as such. But don't worry, it's not going anywhere. They don't have any plans to. Let's see. But what is going to occur? Season 3 of Aggretsuko will be taking place as of this recording in 3 days, August 27th on Netflix. Now, if you have not ever seen, you probably have seen a reference to the show before. It's basically a red panda known as Retsuko, who looks like a normal a worker going to her office and just doing her everyday life. But every night she takes out her rage by singing death metal. But if you have Netflix, check it out. I've watched a few episodes of it. It's a good show, I will tell you that. And finally, it looks like it's happened again. The Los Angeles Kings mascot Bailey, the performer at least, is in some legal trouble. And this is not the first time that's happened, but I'll get to that in a second. The Los Angeles Kings have announced they've suspended Tim Smith, who portrays Bailey, following a sexual harassment lawsuit recently filed by a former member of the Kings ice crew. Along with being the mascot, Smith is the senior manager of game presentation and events for the team. TMZ Sports reports Thursday that a woman who was hired for the ice crew in 2018 had filed a suit against Smith, the Kings, and team owner AEG and was seeking more than $1 million in damage. So the allegation is that Smith sexually harassed her verbally and physically, and when she protested against the behavior, she was fired by Smith. The suit also alleges that a King's team official asked her to return, but the harassment continued, and she eventually quit the job. There was a separate article that that noted that particular incident in the Mascot room, and so the Kings have suspended Smith pending an investigation. But yeah, this is not the first time that he's gotten into trouble. He previously had been sued for harassment in 2017 by a man who alleged that Smith grabbed his butt during an elevator ride, and that suit was settled the following year. He has worked with the Kings since 2007, and any furry that I talk to that is in the Mascot business, I hear nothing but negative things about him. I don't know that he's on the opposite side of the country, so I don't know about it, but I do hear a lot of stuff about his bad stuff, and I can only think that the Kings would have no choice but to let him go, because this is the second time that he's had a sexual harassment lawsuit against him, and he's just going to become a liability, and this could end up costing maybe the owners of the team. Because if they keep him, they could be sued for creating an unwelcome work environment, and I have studied human resource management, and I had to study about labor stuff, that what you can, what you can't do, what you gotta watch for to make sure that you don't get sued. But yeah, I got a feeling that if the AEG group wants to cover the butts, I think the best thing is that they got to let him go. So that's pretty much what I have to cover with that. Like I said, as far as virtual cons, I don't know if I'll be doing any of those, but I'm certainly going to be keeping an eye on events that go on, and I'm just hoping for everything to be back to normal. But I know it's not going to be happening anytime soon until we get that vaccine. But in the meantime, I am continuing to work here, try to just keep myself occupied, continuing to work on that deck. And I may even start thinking about doing woodwork here, because I had some ideas, but I need some time to get the equipment that I need. So I'll keep you up to date with that. But that is pretty much all I have to cover here, and I will see you guys later.